lot of hardships in um, having my children and having them shared. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess where I'm at is we've decided that my 13-year-old daughter should go live with her dad, but he also lives with his mama.
Amazing.
But I I guess where we're coming from, it feels like kind of the right thing to do, despite that may not be a very strong relationship for her. That this is her chance to kind of see for herself.
Does she want to go and stay with him?
I think she does, but it's not the same as being with her siblings, with us, in a very caring and nurturing home.
How and does her father want her to come live with him?
He has agreed to it, but I don't know if it's truly what he wants.
If he has agreed to it, then just assume that he does want it. I'm sure he wouldn't say yes if he did not want it. And if your daughter at 13 wants to go live with him, I would definitely do it because her soul is yearning for her father, and no one or nothing can replace that. And as she get older, you will start having more and more problem with her because she's looking for the love of her father. Even though her stepfather may be a decent guy, he cannot fulfill that void within her.
Okay, that's what we thought.
But let her go and see. And if it doesn't work out, she's old enough to say, well, it's not working out. I want to come back home because she's at least old enough to see and think for herself. So I would definitely give it a good try.
Okay. And I guess in regards to my oldest son, he does have special needs. So I wonder, he's 15 right now, but I guess I'm wondering if he needs kind of lifelong care. If once he's an adult, if we should also let him go when his father is very involved and does want him.
What type of special needs he has?
He's autistic and has developmental delays.
Oh, I see. And so these two kids are by the same father? Oh, two different fathers.
Yes, I was a slut.
That's right. And so you're trying. You want to know if you should do that later for him or now?
Yeah, like I know, we've been in many custody battles, and another one just ended. So I feel like now, wouldn't be the time to just kind of end all that. But once he's an adult, I feel like it still gives us time to have more influence on him.
So his father or their fathers have been trying to get them through court battles?
Just my oldest one has.
Oh, just the oldest one. And so the father, how's the father doing to the older one? Is he working and independent and all that?
Yes, he does.
And he wants his son even though he has those issues, you say?
He does, but he also has his mama very, very involved, who does majority of the care.
And what do you say is wrong with that?
They are very evil people, I guess. So
well, all people are evil people if they not overcome God. Overcome Satan. Anyone who has anger is evil.
Yes.
If the father is fighting for his son, that's a good sign that he want to be with him, whatever his condition might be. And I would suggest you give it a try. The father loves his son, so he would treat him well as well. And I would suggest, and I don't know what the future will bring, and you don't either. If you're not sure exactly what to do, I would wait until I'm sure what to do. But I definitely wouldn't fight the father over his children if he's fighting to be with his children.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't fight about it again. That's for sure.
Have you apologized to the father for doing that?
No.
Why not? but you never apologize. That's why he won't listen.
Okay. I guess I feel like it was, I don't know, that in a sense that because the circumstances were a little different, because that was like a teenage pregnancy and he was quite a bit older than me, that I feel like circumstances he doesn't really deserve it.
But that's not your decision to make. Because you were wrong and he was wrong for making babies out of wedlock. And so both of you are wrong. And now that you've gone through the court and you want to become the right kind of person, you know you were wrong. You should apologize to the Father for what you've done. And never mind how you think about it. God will reward you when you admit that you were wrong. It will give you an amazing life. I wouldn't let the pride get in the way of that, because that is not of God.
Okay, I understand.
Because Satan tell you, oh, don't apologize. He's going to think that he was right and you were wrong. But if you know you were wrong, it doesn't matter what anyone else think about it. To admit that we are wrong is really only what God thinks about it, because people are going to think what they're going to think anyway, especially in a fallen state, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You're absolutely right.
But if you want, now that you're waking up, you and your husband are waking up, and you want to pass down love to your children, you need to be of that, and don't hold on to the ego at all.
Okay.
And then you will see clearly what to do, when to do it, because God will clearly guide you, and there will be no second thought about it. But you got to lay down your pride. And don't listen to any thoughts about anything. Whatever has happened, whatever is happening, don't listen to thoughts about it. Just live in the presence of God. And Sherry, you will have no doubt about what to do.
Okay, thank you very much.
That makes sense?
It does.
But you got to lay down all your ego. Let your ego die. Because Satan doesn't want you to do the right thing for the children. He doesn't want you to be free. He doesn't want you to treat your ex-boyfriend or husband, whatever he was, in the right way. And I wouldn't let that happen, especially with the family. Are you doing my silent prayer video?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good. Stay with that. Doubt every thought. And I'm telling you, you're going to walk on water.
That sounds amazing.
It is. And you're overcoming that fallen state, but do not, whatever has happened between you and your kids' fathers, both were wrong. You couldn't see what you were doing. You did not see what you were doing. Now you're seeing it. You got to deal with it with righteousness, with the right way, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right?
Will do.
So stay with the silent prayer and do the right thing. Don't listen to the lie in your head.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking my call, Jesse.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yes, I did.
How did that go?
It actually went really easy, because I don't really have anything to do with my mother. But I did phone her about a year ago, and I forgave her and told her that I know that she didn't know any better and that she did the best she could.
Nice. And your father?
Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, okay. But realize your father loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with your mother.
Absolutely.
Amazing, huh?
Yes, it is.
And Sherry, one last thing. It's going to get easier and easier and easier to a point where you're going to find yourself just living, just being, and God will be providing and taking care of you. So let the old way die. It is dying, and the real you is coming to the forefront.
I'm happy about that.
It's going to be amazing for you.
Thank you.
And your family, by the way.
Oh, that makes me even happier.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Amazing. I want to know from Nick, did I give him permission to have T back on my show again? Because he keeps putting T on and not asking me if he is free to come back on my show yet.
Deal with it later. All right.
I need to wait and find out. So in Houston, and these things are going to get worse if the Democrats take over. They're already in operation. They started really to go out of hand when Barack Obama was in the White House. Remember, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now? Pigs in the blanket, fry 'em like bacon. Remember all that? And with Black Lives Matter, and Obama invited them to the White House. Now, I don't know what happened once they got there. Did they celebrate? Did they have a beer? Or what happened? But I know that once they met with Obama, they really went out of control. And ever since, they started shouting, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now? Pigs in the blanket. It has only gotten worse. And then now there are preachers, black preachers and others who are saying that, oh, Black Lives Matter is not an organization. It is an organization, folks. It is an organization. And they are getting worse and worse. They have burned down the country, mob attack, terrorist attack upon America, and they've gotten away with it. And if the Democrats should take over, they will get away with it even more. They've learned now that they can intimidate America. They can defund the police departments and get rid of them, and that blacks can attack cops and get away with it. It's going to get worse because we have the same government. The Great White Hope has made a change in government, but there are so many enemies within the government that it has gotten worse. This is from Fox. Houston police sergeant was shot and killed while driving to work. Here's that report.
It is another rough day. This has been a rough year. 2020 has just been a rough year.
Officers escorted HPD Sergeant Sean Rios' body from where he collapsed and died to the Harris County morgue. The violence just doesn't seem to let up. 5 homicides in less than a 24-hour period, including Sergeant Rios. It was 1:30 in the afternoon. Sergeant Rios was shot to death in broad daylight by a gunman driving a blue 4-door Mercedes.
He was assigned to the airport, and he was on his way to his 2 o'clock shift.
The chief says the sergeant was out of his personal car when the gunshots rang out.
Amazing. It's going to get worse. So the real Christians, y'all better find a rock and hide behind it. Because the fake Christians have not done anything. They have no power. None. All that hooping and hollering and speaking in tongues and carrying on, nothing but a show. I remember the day when Christians had authority over evil in America. And they did not allow people who were evil to go out of control. They punished them by putting them in jail. They corrected them by being honest with them. They didn't accept homosexuality and out of wedlock birth and living together without being married, all this crap. Drag queens in the government and lesbians running the government. That would have never happened when I was growing up. Because real Christians were real Christians. They didn't hate, but they led the way. It's not happening anymore. And if you are a man or woman of God trying to point the right way, you're attacked even by the fake Bible thumper Christians. Oh, you shouldn't be involved in government. Christians are not supposed to be involved. You see what the government is doing? Locking down the Christians. I gotta take a quick break. Back in a moment. anger. They have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that you don't get a loan from the bank, or you don't have a 5-year plan, or you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father. Because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So, thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. So welcome back. I just gave you the report on this Houston police sergeant that was shot and killed, according to Fox, while driving to work. The one thing that, I think that people realize now that if you don't deal with the lack of moral values in human nature, it only gets worse. It doesn't get better. You pretend that there's not a flaw, you end up destroyed. Breitbart, this is from Breitbart, a gunman was shot. A gunman shot at 2 Baltimore police officers in an unprovoked attack while they sat in their vehicle. Remember that happened in Compton, California as well, I believe in Compton. The officer and his partner returned fire